Welcome to lesson 21. This lesson is about wandering minds like jellies. And the animal that you're going to be presenting to your students are these jellies that live in our oceans. And what's unique about jellies is most of the jellies in our oceans don't really swim. They are swept away a lot of the times by currents and tides. And it's difficult for them to swim like a fish and go in a particular direction. And the analogy here is that oftentimes it's a little bit difficult to notice our thoughts and to guide our thoughts in a particular direction. But a very, very, very important aspect of mindfulness practices is to learn how to pay attention to our thoughts, to notice our thoughts, and to maybe see them go by like jellyfish, and to be aware of our thoughts. And that is step one to being able to, down the road, be able to change our thoughts. We have to start noticing first. You see them and you see them swept away or move through, and they come and go like jellies in our oceans. And to sit back and see them come up and see them go away, and maybe see another thought come up and slowly drift away as it disappears. And that becomes the mindfulness practice in itself. So this practice can be done with eyes open or closed. If you wanted to show a video of jellies and having students with their eyes open, look at the video and noticing what kind of thoughts are you having as you're watching these jellies. The other practice could be done with your eyes closed and bringing students to notice their thoughts. And notice when a thought pops into their head, notice what that thought is, and notice when that thought starts going away or gets changed by another thought. So there's two ways of doing this practice. You can do it one way for the first introduction class, and during the week, practice with eyes closed and having students take those beautiful deep breaths in and begin to bring your attention instead to a body part, to bring your attention to your thoughts. It is a little bit more of an advanced practice, but by lesson 21, you've taught your students many other forms of mindfulness practices. So this is a little bit more advanced, but I think by now the students are going to be ready for this practice. The other component I want to share with you is, why do we practice this? Why is this practice essential and key? It's because it is the foundation for students to begin to know what kind of thoughts are they cultivating in their heads. If they're thinking of something scary, they'll start feeling scared within themselves. And we reviewed that in the concept of mindful emotions several weeks back. And so now we're planting the ground, or we're planting the seeds and the skills in order for your students to start becoming aware of, well, what kind of thoughts are you creating in your head? And if you're noticing a thought that you're having, that you're feeling scared because you had a dream, to begin to know that if you're thinking of scary things, you're going to start feeling scared. And one of the analogies that I like to bring is, especially for the older grades, is if they watch a movie in the theater and it's a scary movie, they're going to start feeling scared. But I always share with students that most of the time the students will know, especially 5th and 6th graders, that if they're watching a TV or they're watching a movie, that whatever they're looking at that might feel scary, it's really not there. It's only light projected from on a screen, and despite knowing that it's not happening to not happening in real time, that our brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and not real. And therefore, being able to be aware of what kind of thoughts we have allows us to start planting the seeds for the skill of choosing to choose a different thought. So if a student gets scared because they're about to take a math test, most likely they're thinking of the math test and they're thinking that they might not finish the test, or they're thinking that they're not good enough in doing the math test, which is going to elicit an emotion of fear. But if they go and say, oh, I'm thinking that, but you know what? I can do this and I can make this happen, then they're shifting their emotional state by changing their thoughts. That is one of the key concepts in emotional regulation and in the skills of cognitive behavioral therapy, using our cognition to change our thoughts, that changes our emotions, that changes our behaviors. So have fun with this lesson, and I'll see you next week for another adventure of InnerU.